Look at that disbelief, shaking his head even as he won. That's what a win at the Giro D'Italia means to the 24-year-old Spaniard. A third professional win, his second this year, but his first at the Giro D'Italia. Robbie, talk us through this, will you?
Well, we saw the sprint. Luke Plapp on the front, almost leading out, knowing he didn't have the sprint power. Alaphilippe looking supremely confident, went at the perfect moment, 150 to go. But there was just no holding the power of Pelayo Sanchez. So I think it was not only him shaking his head in disbelief, but also Julian Alaphilippe going, who is this guy?
Yeah. Well, who is this guy exactly? We're all Googling him, aren't we, for the latest stats on him as soon as he crosses the line. He's been in the break, of course, all day. We've got plenty of time to get to know him. But a huge way for him to arrive on a much bigger scene, Dan.
Yeah, totally. Third pro win in his career. Those that watched the Vuelta A Espana last year might remember him. He was riding for a second-tier team, Burgos BH, at the time. And I remember him on the last day, or second last day of the Vuelta A Espana. He was in a group with Wout Poels, the eventual winner, and Remco Evenepoel. I remember he had the audacity, in inverted commas, to attack Evenepoel over the top of the last climb. He was already catching attention then. He'd already signed at that point for Team Movistar. So he'd shown indications that he had a big future in front of him. That future is already here. That was a stunning win.
I think you said it all there. We're all Googling him. Even though he was in the breakaway, even though we had all the time to look up who he was, we didn't just because of the calibre of riders in the front. Julian Alaphilippe there, Luke Plapp as well. We never thought, oh, he's going to have a chance today, so we better do some research on him and brush up our knowledge. No one thought that. We just got in.
We all knew
let's have a look. But yeah,
Complacency in the breakaway. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought it? We have to have a word on Julian Alaphilippe. I'm sure I wasn't the only neutral cheering him on, the former world champion.
Or the only Alaphilippe mega fan.
Well, just wouldn't that have been absolutely beautiful? I mean, it's lovely to see him right there in the mix anyway. And Adam, I hate to say it, but I'm going to anyway. Whenever we were discussing the favourites before the stage.
You don't hold back, do you?
Julian Alaphilippe was one of the bookies' favourites, and Adam was, well, let's say, a bit dismissive, really, weren't you? And we all understood why.
Yeah, 100%. I think Julian, you know, he's had a tough couple of years, a lot of misfortune, a lot of crashes, a lot of bad luck. And when I saw the bookies today, I was like, on a stage like this, surely not. He's not shown that he's had the legs so far. But today he did, and I think that's the beauty of Alaphilippe. You know, it's not shocking to see him there, but at the same time, it's just brilliant to see him there. Two other shocking things today as well. Patrick Lefevre gave him a bottle from the side of the road. His team boss who criticised him.
Or a message in a bottle.
Yeah, I mean, criticise is probably a bit of an understatement. He's been incredibly and uncomfortably vocal in his... well, we'll use the word criticism, shall we? Complete slagging off of one of his marquee riders, the amount of money that he's been paid, and saying that he hasn't delivered, and questioning his lifestyle, his professionalism, his relationship. I mean, there isn't any area that's been off limits when it comes to Patrick Lefevre and Julian Alaphilippe.
You think it
and
worked?
Now he'll say it worked.
Well, no, but this is genuinely where I hesitate a little bit with all of this, because we don't want to ever then look at a Julian Alaphilippe win and say, oh, well, that's great. You know, this kind of emotional abuse, really, in the public sphere is obviously a stick, and some people are responding to cameras.
You.
If only a camera's recording what you say to me, Adam Blythe.
I mean, he was always going to get the best out of himself. I've got to say, I was a non-believer. If I'd just seen the end of the stage, Alaphilippe in a break and then sprinting for the win, I would have said, OK, that's a good day out. But the way he rode right from the get-go, he went in so many break attempts early in the stage, using so much energy. I thought, when he even eventually got in the break, I thought, there's no way he can round this off. He's done too much too early. He'll probably blow up late, which would be a reasonable expectation. He was just really good all day. OK, didn't win. Got beaten by someone who's had an incredible day, but still, yeah.
You know, back in the day, we wouldn't have seen the opening 2 hours of racing and who was going on the attack, who was doing the most. We commented on it saying, well, Alaphilippe's been with so many attacks. That's a lot of energy to burn, that even if he does get into breakaway, he's going to pay for that later on. Take nothing away from Pelayo Sanchez there. Brilliant ride by him. And because he's not the big name, I actually have no idea how many attacks he made and how many attacks he went with in the opening couple of hours whilst the breakaways were trying to establish it themselves. It might well have been that he was also putting an incredible amount of effort in.